Let's freaking go. Rangers win, baby, 4-3 over the Anaheim Ducks in overtime at MSG. And I was at the game, so that's why this video is going up a bit later. If you saw on Twitter, I met Igor Shesterkin, which I still cannot believe. He saw my hat sitting up there. Probably should have gone for the video just to show off, because why the hell not? And I also met Panarin, which was really sick as well. So yeah, that's why this video is going up a bit late. But speaking of Twitter, be sure to follow me on Twitter if you're not already. And yeah, before we dive into the action here, be sure to leave a like on the video if you do enjoy this. Subscribe if you're new, especially if you're Ranger fans. We recap every single Ranger game here on the channel, win or lose. Thankfully, a win tonight. Turn the notifications on so you know when I upload, even though it is after every single Ranger game. So yeah, let's just dive into this one. Definitely a way better effort than what we've seen previously from just everyone, from the forward group, the defensive core, goaltending. How about that with Georgiev too? Okay. And then coaching as well. Gallant definitely he definitely had something that got the team clicking today, because he just had a way better coaching performance. And then that timeout that he took, which led to the Rangers tying the game late in this one. Really smart decision there. So I am very pleased overall. Was I pleased with the first period? Not really, but outside of that, I thought that they played a pretty solid game. For half of the first period, they were really solid. They had control of most of the game in the first half of the first period. And it started early with Johnny Brzezinski. How about that? Johnny Brzezinski with a snipe. Gets one past John Gibson from Hedel and Schneider early in this one, and the Rangers go up 1-0, and they looked in control for most of it, and then they get the goal. All right, we're done, and they throw their arms up, and they just decide to quit. Georgiev has to come up with a big save on Trevor Zegras, and then later in the first period, Keandre Miller throws an insane monster hit to break up a play, and then you compliment him, and it doesn't matter because Maxime Comtois gets the goal. I don't know if it went off of Keandre Miller or if it's because of the lack of tying up Comtois or not hitting him either. I'm not too sure there. But Terry and Henrique get the assist there. And the Ducks tie this one at 1. And they took control of the period, really, for most of it, which was very frustrating. So yeah, the first period wasn't too pretty by any stretch of the imagination there. The shots were 7-6 in favor of the Rangers, however. Would have liked to have seen a bit better out of that period. You had a couple good shifts, specifically from the top six, and the second line in particular. Strome ended up missing an open net, as per usual. Or no, yeah, that wasn't the first period, not the second period. But, you know, of course he did. So that was frustrating. And the officiating also was just completely garbage for both sides, in particular, in my opinion. There were times where they called trippings on the Rangers, but all night, the Ducks were tripping some of the guys on the Rangers. Nothing called. And then there were times where I thought the Rangers got away with some things. The Ducks got away with too many men in this one. But that's besides the point. Second period, though, the Rangers start off very hot, and they actually played pretty well. It was mostly back and forth this period, but Mika Zibanejad scores early in this one. Top cheddar, baby, from Adam Fox and Artemi Panarin. It was on a delayed penalty there. So, yeah, there you go. After the too many men that didn't get called, there was a penalty after that, and Zibanejad capitalizes on it. Beautiful pass there from Adam Fox, who had a really, really great bounce-back game. To an extent, I guess, because on one of the goals, I don't know what he was doing. Or did I confuse? I just realized, did I confuse the one where, no, I didn't. Never mind. I'm an idiot. But, yeah, forget what I was saying there. But, Mika snipes one, top cheddar, baby, on John Gibson. And the Rangers go up 2-1. But it wasn't too long after that where the Ducks got a power play, because they called a tripping. I believe it was on Jacob Trouba, which, again, they weren't calling trippings all game, but then the Rangers tripped someone up, and they decided to call it. And it, of course, leads to a power play goal naturally. It was Cam Fowler and Adam Henrique on that. on the power play. Adam Fox, for whatever reason, just standing there. That was the play I was talking about where Fox, what the hell are you doing there, man? He was just standing there instead of even attempting to stop the screen in front of the net. So the Ducks end up tying the game right away. But then it was pretty much back and forth from there on. The third line looked really good, though. They were getting in some good shifts. So yeah, second period overall really solid. Shots were 11-10 in favor of the Rangers. But the third period, the Rangers, for whatever reason, they decide, yeah, we're on a warpath in this one. And it just sucks because the Rangers ended up going down in this third period at one point. So, yeah, that sucked because they had control just pretty much the entire third period, getting numerous opportunities. There were times where they were just overpassing, and then there were times where I was just begging them all game, make quicker decisions with the pucks. As soon as the puck hits your tape, you need to know what you're doing there. And it was just bothering me all game where Fox would get the puck and he'd wait to shoot it. Panarin on one point with a backhand opportunity, he just waits to shoot it. I believe that one was in the second period. It's like, as soon as the puck hits your stick, you got to know what you're going to do there. You got to know. And they must have heard me from the crowd because they started doing it a lot more in the third period. Unfortunately, though, the Ducks go up early, not early in the third, but they do go up before the Rangers tie the game in the third. Grant from O'Regan in the third period. And unfortunately, Schneider just lets him get behind him. I don't know how, but he did. Rare mistake there. And then Georgiev, that was a bad goal to let up there, but the first two at least weren't his fault. But that was the first bad goal you could really blame Georgiev on. And the Ducks, they go up 3-2, and all of a sudden you're like, well, fuck, here we go. But thankfully the Rangers do get a power play. The first unit was absolutely hooking. Mika Zibanejad with an insane shot there. With 50 seconds left on it, the Rangers do the smart thing and take a timeout so the first unit could come out or could stay out there, because we know the second unit of the power play is just absolutely abysmal. And what happens, it pays off. Chris Kreider gets a lucky bounce off the boards, and he buries that on an open net from Fox and Panarin, and the Garden explodes. It explodes, and it was like that for the remainder of the game because the Rangers, they were in control, and that was something that I loved to see for the rest of the game. Just in control, 5-on-5. They didn't get the goals, but man, were they in control of the game, and I loved every second of it. And yeah, it showed with the shots as it was 19-7, and of course, because I was in the building, it goes to overtime, and the Rangers deserved to win the game, and they did. The Rangers took possession with the combination of Fox, Kreider, and Zibanejad at the start, so they pretty much had control, and then they had to have a defensive break. Panarin came onto the ice for Kreider. Zibanejad makes a play, gets it up to Panarin. Panarin with a fast break out. He tries, doesn't get an opportunity, but he finds Adam Fox, and Adam Fox buries the goal. The stick selly, the Garden explodes, and the Rangers win this one 4-3. Shots in OT, 1 to zip, and the one was a goal for the Rangers. So I am definitely pleased there. Shots on goal in total for the game, 38-23 in favor of the Rangers. Face-off percentage, 52-48 in favor of the Rangers, which I love to see. Hits, 20-16 in favor of the Rangers. Block shots, 11-8 in favor of Anaheim. And giveaways, 5 for Anaheim, 7 for the Rangers. But I'm very pleased with the effort, especially in the third period. That might have been one of the best periods we've seen from the Rangers all season long, so I'm definitely happy with that. In terms of each individual line for tonight, the first line of Lafreniere, Zibanejad, and Kreider, definitely a really great game there. I believe it was the second period where Lafreniere just set up such a beautiful opportunity for Zibanejad, and then he dishes it over to Kreider. Kreider, he has a wide open chance in front of the net. Doesn't bury it, unfortunately, so Lafreniere robbed of a point there. But I did like a lot of what I saw from those three individuals tonight. So, yeah, the first line definitely looked a lot better than what we've seen recently. The second line looks like they're finally finding a bit of a rhythm here. I still don't like Dryden Hunt on it. There are too many times, man, where he just He either gets a shot opportunity and he shoots it to the moon, or there are times where he just doesn't shoot when he has the opportunity. He just does not belong there at all. Strom, he missed an open net, but you know what? I thought he had a pretty solid game. And then Panarin, this was one of the best games that we've seen from him in a very long time, and it showed on the stat sheet with 3 points. So, yeah, the second line I'm definitely happy about. The third line, how about that with an underrated performance there of Barclay Goodrow, Phil Hedl, and Johnny Brzezinski. Johnny Broadway getting on the score sheet. Okay. And then Philip Hedl also getting the apple on that. We love that. Barclay Goodrow had a really great game as well. And then the fourth line, Reeves comes back into the lineup after being a healthy scratch last game. That line ended up being Reeves, McKegg, and Gauthier. They didn't really do much. They were pretty solid defensively, but they didn't contribute much offensively. But I don't like that. There are too many times where they're just in their own zone. But they weren't -1 at all, any of them. So I guess take that. Although Gauthier was. So he might have been on the ice for one of them during a line change, but I'm not too sure. For the defense, Lindgren and Fox, definitely a lot better from Fox. Lindgren took a dumb delay, a game penalty. But overall, he wasn't too bad. Definitely a better game than what we've seen as of late. And then Fox had one of the best games that we've seen in a long time, except for that one misplay on the power play goal that Anaheim scored in the second period. For the second pair, Miller and Trouba, they had a pretty decent night. Again, I hate to be a broken record with it, but it's every game. It's every game that I have to. Too many times, or at least once a game, they let up an odd man rush the other way, and it just needs to stop. It needs to. And then Keandre Miller on that first goal, it was just embarrassing defensive play there. But overall, they were decent. And then Nemeth and Schneider. Schneider, it sucks that he had his first really bad defensive misplay, but it was bound to happen at some point. So it is what it is. At least it was in a game that we won, but unacceptable what happened there. And then Nemeth, he got caught up too far. But other than that, they had a pretty solid game. Nemeth actually looked pretty good, so I will take that. And then Georgiev had he had a really good game, honestly. I could really only fault him for one of the goals there. So save percentage doesn't show it from tonight, but he had a pretty solid game, and I am pleased with that. With that said, though, let's get to Twitter here. Uncle Shadows says, that seals the deal. I am no longer an Anaheim Ducks fan. This team is a pure and utter embarrassment to the NHL. I officially will not be renewing my season tickets, nor will I watch a game ever on TV. I'm going to the New York Rangers, where I know how to be a good team. Yep. Love that. The good old copy pasta. Make it a cry. It says, thoughts on the Ducks goalie performance tonight and Georgiev. Gibson had a pretty rough game, but it was known that he has been going through a very rough stretch as of lately. For Gibson, if you want me to evaluate his performance, that make is a bad jet goal, unacceptable by him. You can't let that one in. That's a really bad goal. The Johnny Brzezinski goal, that's another one he's got to save. Nothing he could do on the Kreider one, and then the Fox one too. You could maybe argue he could have had, but man, did Gibson have a pretty rough game. There were a couple times where he had a couple flashy saves, but I thought he had a pretty rough game, and it's weird to see from Gibson considering how dominant and how he's been he's always been league-wide known as one of the top goalies in the league. So to see what he's doing as of lately, it's kind of strange to see. And then Georgiev, he had a really great game tonight. I can't say enough good things about him tonight. I'm very happy. Slippy NYR says, reaction to the OT winner. Raquel and Lindholm stay in New York. My reaction to the OT winner, jumping, going crazy. I should probably tweet let me know if you guys want me to tweet the video of my reaction to the OT winner, because I got the OT goal actually on video there. I'll probably just tweet either way. Why the hell not? And then Raquel and Lindholm, hopefully one of them staying in New York. Raquel didn't actually play this game, so you got to wonder what's going on there. What's going on there, huh? Tyler says, sorry, I don't want to try to pronounce your last name there because I'm probably going to butcher it. Siren I'm not sure there. Sorry if I butchered that. But it says good game by the third line. I think there still needs to be an upgrade down there. Besides Raquel, who do you like and why? I'm definitely huge on Arturi Lehkonen, but the cost is going to be a bit too much. I'm a big Phil Kessel guy. If you guys saw on Twitter, I was being annoying about that tonight, especially with Amanda Kessel in the building. Andrew Copp was a guy I liked, but unfortunately he got hurt, so that is kind of a problem. And then in terms of another guy that's cheap that not a lot of people are talking about, man, I'm really trying to think here of a third line guy. I mean, Derek Brassard could low-key be a good guy. I don't know if I'd necessarily like him for the third line, but I have him as an extra forward or maybe on the fourth line. I like him. You got a couple good options there. I'd have to do a bit of a deeper dive because I haven't really looked in a bit, but overall, I'd say Phil Kessel's probably the main guy. New York Star 24 says that third line is something special and Foxy baby. Yeah, who would have thought that not playing Julian Gauthier and Greg McKegg was a smart idea? Who would have thought that Johnny Broadway is actually better than those bums? Who would have thought? I don't want to be mean to them. All right. That mean to them, I should say. But to be fair, they blow. They blow. Much as I love Julian Gauthier, especially off the ice, man, that's not that great. And then, yep, Adam Fox with a butte. And then Henry says thoughts on Georgiev tonight. Like I said, very good game. Kind of already answered that. And then political Gersh, I don't know if I pronounced that right, says he's not a bad goalie, and anyone who suggests he is doesn't know puck. Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's had rough games, there's no doubt about it, but if anyone wants to blame him for most of the goals tonight, just completely asinine, if you ask me. Completely. I thought he had a pretty solid game. But let me know what you guys think about the game in the comments section. Like I said, follow me on Twitter so you could get involved in these videos if you want to. It's a free shout out, so why the hell not? Drop a like, though, if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, like I said, especially if you're fans. Turn the notifications on, and I will see you guys in Let's Go Rangers.